Hello everyone and welcome. This is Angelina and I would like to say thank you for once again joining us today for the Smada World Opportunity webinar offered by Next Level Africa. We have a few bits and pieces of information to pass on to you today regarding the exchanges, although this will be a general overview of where we are at with NLA and our alliance partners. As usual, we will be having the Q&A at the end, and you'll be welcome to ask your questions covering all things. So please keep that in mind that, we will be having the Q&A, so have your questions ready. So, as I said, thank you for everyone coming out again today from all over the world. We have all of our people coming out from Canada and the US, Australia, Indonesia, South Africa, the Netherlands, Spain, France, the UK, and I don't think I missed any place. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our presenter for today, Mr. Noel Adams, the founder of Next Level Africa and our CEO and leader of the Smada team. Welcome, Noel.
Angelina, and welcome everybody to the webinar. We've had an eventful week, so I'll try and keep it to the point and go over everything so that we're up to date with where we are at the moment, just covering a little bit of housekeeping as we go. Some of this, in case you have me jumping around a little bit here, some of this information I received in the last few minutes, so it's really getting it up to date, and some of them I'm reading through some of the notes that have been sent to me about what's happened over the visit to the UK and Japan. We've had our development team scooting all over the place getting things done. Some of it I can talk about, some of it I can't, so I'm just scooting through to see what I can and what I can't talk about out there. So if I sound a little bit vague, it's because it's all fresh to me as well. I'm virtually reading some of this as I'm reading it to you. But just to cover a little bit of housekeeping, the people have asked questions like addressing which exchange to use, whether it's GEX or CEX. Well, you can use either if you're selling. Obviously, GEX is only Jingling and Bitcoin, so anyone who wants to trade Jingling can use either exchange. I guess we'd prefer to use the CEX exchange, as you might well know that I've taken over the CEX exchange, and all that's been a work in progress over the last week, and we're still refining that to get the maintenance in place and to get the support areas all fixed up with it. And so there's been some major work happening out there. So once again, but either exchange can be looked at. The other thing too I'll mention is that, look, I do get a lot of people not only contacting me in PM but also contacting admin, and there's so many components to this that when members send us a message, hi, what's happening, you don't know where to start, because it's almost like a book. This webinar, this is what this is all about. So anyone that's sent in any requests for in PM of hello, what's up doc, and haven't had a response from it, we just don't have time, and if we continue to respond to them, people will continue to do that. So these webinars are all about giving you the information as we have it, because some of it we just don't have it. There's so many different components to it to bring it all together. So please just wait for these webinars. Ask questions in the room if you want, because that's for the general members, but doing one-on-ones, we just don't have the time to do them anymore now. As you might notice there, that the coin price has been out there, both Chingaling in GX and CX. We've had some nice increases. One of the things that stands out to me, I thought that the Chingaling, because I was only using the gauge of the NLA coin, because when we started, the NLA was about 10% of the Chingaling, so if it was still where it was when we first started a couple of years ago, with the NLA coin at $141, Chingaling should be $1,400. So you can see that the NLA coin has certainly jumped up there, and we now have over 10 billion in our asset account. So that's a major thing out there with with what we've got going. So still another 10 billion to go, and in the meantime our coin price will continue to go. I do also would like to take this opportunity to really, you might hear me continuing to say this over these webinars, but particularly thanking Angelina for her dedication to the members. I have a lot of members coming to me and telling me that of just how much assistance that they've had. So Angelina is really dedicated to the members. You can tell she has a natural helping heart about her, and she really puts herself out to do it. And it's the same with Karen and Julie. Angelina is working diligently with these ladies out there, because Angelina's been really in the background for the first 4 years of what we've been doing, and she really has absorbed and taken in a lot of information and able to make decisions. So it's made it very easy for me to leave Angelina in charge of doing a lot of the work that I had to give the okay on. So once again, thank you very much, Angelina, and also to Karen and Julie. Another group also, Maxine and Ray, coupled up with Lou. You might notice that the Smada World website is coming along there, and these are the people behind a lot of the information going on there, coordinated by Maxine. And Lou, look, what can I say about Lou? He had a power failure over his way. I believe a duck put them out of action with their with their power. So Lou's been working under candlelight to get some of the things completed, so you'll see them coming up. All my job has been is to look at the finished product and sign off on it, so I've had very little to do. So everything you see coming up there, these people are the ones behind it. So I do thank everyone there, from the admin right through to Maxine and Ray and Lou. I thank you from the bottom of my heart to assist out there with what's going on. And just to cover a BCN just quickly on that, look, there's lots of things going on with BCN. They had an issue there that happened on the 1st of February, and they expected to be up and running, but their website, they're not even bothering to fix what's in there. They're releasing a new website, a lot of information about it out there. So we just put it slightly on hold to doing mass introduction into BCN. Anyone in there that, look, everyone's fine. It's just they've had issues with their mining facilities, and so there's a lot of things going on. But one of the points I wanted to make is that we started off with members with a pool, so that we could bring members into the BCN a lot more affordable than having to pay the full freight to come in there. But there's still a couple of members in that pool that will be looked after. So please bear in mind that all the funds that came into the pool have gone to other members in order to put them into the system. But once we get their side of it sorted out, we're going to start running some further promotions. And the people out there, if anyone knows me, you'll realize that if you're being left behind there with it, when we do a catch-up, you'll more than be compensated for that catch-up. So anyone involved in the pool area with BCN, please don't worry. you will be looked after, and we will get back onto it. We just want, look, they're announcing things out there. There's too much for me to go over, but they're talking about they've had to change and get into new mining facilities. So it's quite a large job for them out there, but they're on top of it. Just another quick one. UPB, the CEO of UPB has contacted me, Universal Plan B Plus. Their testing has gone rather well, so they are now getting ready to we'll have a meeting. They're just getting ready to go into a launch phase. So I'll get a bit more information. That information only came in as I slept last night, so I've quickly read it and I'll be able to check it out. But we have people, some of our main players in Next Level Africa, that are assisting there with the UPB. So we're going to have a very nice and alliance association there, because they are going to use the NLA coin. So I'll go further into that as we go, but that's getting extremely close now. I've been getting updates on a weekly basis on it, and it's just been, look, anything you're doing with programmers, I've just realised that with the guys we've got, anything with programmers, you never know what you're going to get until it's completed there. So anyway, that's where it is. Also now I'm going through some fairly lengthy notes here, so if you bear with me on what I'm talking about, because I have got some extremely good news, I guess, for the NLA coin. And look, just to mention out there too, I mean, we're going to try and check this out, but I'm lost for words to really, because the banks, they're up in the air about it. They didn't ever want members to have access to the Chingaling coin. If anyone's noticed on CEX, you've got people that have dropped coin out there for $11 a coin. You just wonder where someone's mind is. And of course the banks are jumping up in the air about it, and the banks are well aware of these webinars, and they're well aware that we try to assist where we can with it. And but you know, it's pretty obvious that once those coins go at that price, and I can't get in the head of an individual that want to put it up there for that price when it's the market maker's listing it at $463. I mean, who would know? People have asked us if we can answer it. There's just no way you can get inside someone's head that wants to do that type of thing out there. So anyway, but it's been a bit argy-bargy on it, and just wanting to mention a few things out there. So anyway, look, what I'm going to tell you, and this is something I wasn't going to tell you last week, but one of the reasons our development team also went over to the UK, apart from getting the exchanges fixed up, and as you can see, we've got GX and CX running. Still a few more tweaks to go with it. A lot of the things such as Bitcoin, the wallets are now in sync, so the Bitcoin is all happening, so people can transfer that over there. Security certificates are if not sorted, going to be sorted on there. I think they're all sorted now. We have an investment group. Now this group was really brought to us by the bank, and we had to go over there and deal with them and ride them through a few things. But they're wanting to purchase $2.8 billion worth of the NLA coin. Now, one of the things that we didn't really know is that you can't transfer 2.8 billion in one lick, and we didn't know that. And it's something that needs to be arranged via bank to bank, and so we had to come up with a solution on that out there. So they're doing it in stages. So the first batch they did was 39 million. Then 10 minutes later they did 158 million. And then that's been accepted and arranged by the the Loyal Bank will be accepting it, and they're being guided through it. Currently there's been 680 million that's been transferred. So by the next 24 hours there'll be $1 billion in there, and they're being assisted by a person in the States who's working. Their job is, the person in the States is working with the group in order to get the funds completed. That's his job. He's been appointed by the bank to assist them to have their funds placed. Our job is to guide them through the investment process and getting the best deal that we can get them on their investment. So both of us are doing our bit on there. So we have hopes that by tomorrow 1 billion will be in the exchange, and the term is that the shots will start to be fired. So you might start to see some fairly decent trading going on with the NLA coin. So that's been approved out there. So when they actually start, the market maker has to come into it. And as you can appreciate, a lot of our members will be able to liquidate a lot of their coins, and it should end a lot of issues out there that we've been carrying and waiting for this to happen for such a long time. So anyway, look, that's where we are. That's the most important thing. And look, we're setting up our maintenance programs and setting up our support through the exchange, and because we've just taken this over, so there's a bit of work to be done on it. And our development team, actually they had to leave the UK to go over to Japan to get some things finished over there. There are people that are working with this, so I'm just getting all the bills in now, so I can see what they've been doing, and it's fairly major. What actually happened is that with the database, it totally crashed and it could not be recovered, so they had to get a specialty team in the States that specialises in recovering and getting a backup. So so there's just been a lot of people. You have no idea the amount of people involved in running and behind the operation of this. It's a fairly major thing, because we are talking about some major investment dollars coming into it. So overall we are in a really good spot. So so I'm hoping to see some of that happen very, very shortly. Look, I think I've covered what I can cover there. If there's any questions that I can answer in the Q&A, I certainly will. But mainly to do with the exchanges and letting you know about our investment group. I'll move on quickly now, so we've got a bit of time for Q&A in case there's any out there. We are getting a massive response on this promo, so I'm not sure how much longer we'll be able to run it. We've got people taking some serious, and what's happening now is that people are mentioning to people that have never been involved with NLA before, and it's just causing us a little bit of a management issue on it by having to deal with people that really don't know anything about Next Level Africa but wanting to take multiple accounts. And I think this is a sign for us as well. I see it as a major sign, because once we do open this up, people will be seeing just what's been going on, and there'll be a lot of people that would have liquidated their coins, and there's going to be a lot of people in Next Level Africa that are extremely well off, and I think that's in itself is going to attract a lot, because there's nothing like showing somebody what's happened out there. We're going to have people becoming overnight millionaires when this all unfolds there over the coming days. So once again, there's going to be quite a bit of activity going on. So we're getting pretty excited about it. So anybody that's wanting to do something on this promotion, it's a day-by-day thing that we're doing, and we've got quite a bit coming in, so we're getting ready to close up on it. So anybody that's wanting to do anything on there, I suggest that you get it done ASAP, because once again, once we go to our limit of the positions that we can do out there, and it's becoming a little bit of a challenge because there are new people coming into it now, and we don't want to discourage them, but we just don't really have the time to bring them totally up to speed. So I see people putting questions in the save them till the end of the webinar, because they'll only get lost in the system. We'll have to go back through it, so just save your questions till the end of the webinar. All right, so just to cover the promo on the 50+ positions. As I mentioned, that by the end of June we're looking to stop the dollar coin. Now look, there's been a lot of hold up, because who can factor in our team having to go off to the UK? We've got line 6 there that we're going over. It's getting ready to be loaded, and a lot of the projects will be starting to get reloaded back on there again, because as I mentioned before, that I've got to get myself organised to go to the States to address this $100 billion grant that will be given to allocate to our humanitarian projects out there. So we're wanting to get that organised and trying to. Everything's connected in this, so when you get behind in one area, it sort of has an overflow to other areas. So we are most definitely keeping an eye on that, and hopefully we'll get back onto track. We've only got a week or so to get on there, but I'm sure we'll have a fair bit done in this next week. So once again, and you can appreciate this, that when we stop the dollar coin, you won't see any silly prices going on out there, because all trading will happen on the exchange or member to member. So anybody that understands where we're at and really appreciates the value. I've let the dollar coin stay out there because I do want to make sure that the NLA members are blessed with what we've been given out there. I mean, I do consider everyone behind this, and I try to do my best to hand it on, but it's reached a point where we need to address it, because it's going to affect the price of the coin. There'll always be somebody that wants to undercut people on there, and if it continues to be undercut, it just spirals down, not up. So anyway, we'll be addressing that very soon. Now we're making this special offer to our members and guests. So purchase 50+ positions in Next Level Africa at $20 US for each position. We will need a spreadsheet so that they can be loaded in by our programmer, and they will fall on line 9. And the reason we are doing this is to secure the dollar coin for the upgrade. So we want to make sure that our members really benefit from this out there before we open it up to the rest of the world. As you know, you just can't sign up into Next Level Africa. I've closed that up until we complete the placements, putting members back into the system. So once that happens out there and we open it up for everybody, so you know, we'll be up and running. So anyway, right now the partial positions, we've decided to do that for our members that really couldn't afford at this point doing 50 positions, because there's a bit of work in it. So we had to think about how we were going to do this. So sending an expression of interest for partial positions, that would be 10+, and we will link members together and submit the one CSV file. The cost on this would be $22 per position. Now that just gives you your basic position in there, because we do have a 10% cost on the coins when we buy them, and then of course there's transfer fees of funds and the cost of loading up the files. The programmers will charge us to do this as well, and so we just put a little bit of extra out there to cover all of that. But certainly that when you look at what is going to happen, just to give you an idea, just on today's dollars out there, if somebody were to take let's just one position, you can do the multiplication on this yourself, but because of the amount of people we'll have coming in, the line 9 will have a line 10, it'll be completed. So members will have 3 members under them, so you'll have 30 coins paid to you. If you want to multiply those coins by $141, just because that's the value at the moment, that's $4,230. So you can imagine that spending $22 to finish up getting 4,200 back. And as I've always said, that what we have with Next Level Africa, don't even try to explain this to anybody, because no one will understand it, no one will appreciate it. I've had members, personal friends of mine who are heavily involved in the share market. They have advisors on what they do, because some of them are quite wealthy, so they don't make a move unless they talk to their advisors. And when I've spoken to them about the investment in our coin, they say to me that they're going to go and talk to their advisors and see what they suggest. And I basically have to tell them, well, your advisors have never seen anything. They won't know what to tell you. They'll tell you to run, because no one's ever seen this, including me. And I just feel so privileged to be able to offer this out there, and it's really an offering from me to the members of Next Level Africa, because it's the members that have put us in this position. It's just grown bit by bit. It was all never at the table together. It's just grown bit by bit. And then out of the blue, 3-4 weeks ago now, the bank asked me would I want to take over the exchange. Who would have thought any of that? I mean, we did own the exchange in the first place, Chingaling. We had the exchange, and when the banks took over Chingaling, they took over the whole lot. So they've offered us to run the CEX, so that's going to be rather good. But anyway, the investment for this out there to secure a position is certainly, as I said, I'm just going on those values now. I've indicated that the coin is going to be certainly 150 plus by the end of June. So, and I'm just doing the numbers if people were to sell them then. But if someone sells them in 12 months from now, that $4,200 could become $20,000 because of the valuation of the coin going up. So who was going to believe you that you invested $20 on one position there and got back, you know, $20,000 or something? Nobody. So it's really hard to try and explain that to anybody. You can send all your expressions of interest to support@smada.world. We've got Angelina manages all of that, so anybody that applies to it will receive instructions from Angelina how to go about doing it. And but as I said, we need to do all this so that we can compile everything, and it's time stamped so that so the ones that came in early will be the first ones to be loaded in, and so we've got it in some sort of order out there. Angelina is very efficient in doing this, and I once again, that's why I'm so much in awe of what's going on out there, and because we've got to work this out day by day. You know, there's no booklet out there for us to say, right, we'll just look up how to manage that. We've got to actually develop it and design it as we go on the run. So if we make mistakes out there, I mean, we are human, but so far it's coming together quite well. I just want to also point out that when we started these webinars on the 23rd of the 3rd, the NLA coin was $62 a coin, just rounding that off. Here we are now on the 20th of the 6th, so 3 months later, and it's now 141, so it's more than double the value in that time, and I should imagine it'll certainly do that again over the next 3 months or more, because we're going to have a lot of activity that will be happening through the system. So that's just to give you an idea where the coin's gone to and where it will go. We now have 10.2 billion in our asset account, and as I mentioned before, that I don't know what anyone wants to talk about some other coins out there, but we are the only coin that's backed by a bank. We are the only coin that has an asset account that covers. The asset account is designed that it holds the money in there, so if anyone sells any coins, there's money there to pay them for their coins. So it sits in the exchange in the form of DUC, DUC, digital unit currency, and then when people request payment on the DUC is converted to US dollars and then paid to whatever nominator's account that you may have. All right, I'm going to turn this back over now to Angelina to compile and just let you know how to put your questions in there. But anyone that's posted questions in the early part of it, if they want to do it again, because going back over through all the notes there, it's a bit of a challenge on it. So if you want to post your questions, certainly do it. All right, I'll pass this back to Angelina, and thanks very much everybody for hearing me out.
Thanks, Noel. Wow, we're really, it's so hard to put into words. You know, that word exciting, we're so excited, although yes, we are. And it is a day-by-day, moment-by-moment, feet on the ground, learn as we go, and taking care of all of you in our business. So thank you for starting to put some questions here. I do want to say a couple of housekeeping things myself, though, as well. Sometimes I am getting PMs in Skype, and then the next thing I turn around and I go to our email, and I'm getting exactly the same thing in our email. So if I don't answer you in Skype, that's because you've already sent it to our email for the support. Please don't do that. It's just it can be very time consuming, especially if I start to answer you in PM. There was something else, but I can't remember, so I'll come back to it if I do. Okay, we're getting some great questions here. I think, Archie, this is a really good question about asking how long do cash deposits to coin exchange take. I have a feeling that there is something, and this is part of the concern we have with the CEX. Not so much of a concern, it's just that it doesn't have as many instructions as sometimes we would like to see. When you do a deposit to the coin exchange, you actually have to finish it in the coin exchange as well. I think I'll let Noel explain that a little better than what I am trying to do right at the moment. But once he's explained it, Archie, if you still have a problem, contact us and I can put that on our list to look after you. So Noel, if you'd like to see where Archie is on our Q&A, that would be great, and we'll go forward from these questions. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Angelina. Archie, look, with your deposit, the 11th of June sounds a bit long, and you have mentioned there that it's sitting in pending, so I should imagine you've completed, because there's two parts to this. You need to do the deposit in the exchange and to register the deposit. That goes into pending. Then of course you go to your bank and you send the funds to the Wells Fargo account in there. But what I suggest that you do is, if you can, in our support there, if you can send details of your transaction so we can follow it through with the department that looks after the transactions. We've been able to get a few sorted out, and sometimes people just forget to do the, or it doesn't register the deposit that they've made. And if you've look, there could be a number of reasons. You might nominate it from a different bank or something. So if we can get the details on the amount that you've sent, when you sent it, and username, etc., so that we can follow it up with it. But we'll chase that up for you if you can get us to support out there. Rama, I know many of us are on line 8 and 9 in next South Africa waiting the renewal process to be done. When can we expect to be completed? It's too hard to actually nominate that with it, Rama, because of I can't factor in all the delays that can come up with it, but we are certainly going to do it as quickly as we can out there, and our team are back now on deck, so we'll be looking at getting that out there. So once again, I can't answer that correctly. James is asking, will the $22 include piggyback? Well, it's definitely no. You see, normally it would cost, if you do it through just registering, it would normally cost $16.50, because there's a 10% charge on the coin that's put on by the bank. So when we do these accounts like that, they're manually done by us, James. So there's a cost for us to do them, handling cost on it, with handling funds, people sending funds out. There's a cost on that, and of course we have to then bundle the dollars together and send it off to pay the bank, which generally costs us dollars to do that. It costs us dollars for the programmers to load up the sheets, but all I'm getting at is that if you spend $22, well, you don't spend 22 because the minimum, but you can do one and get 9 from other people, or someone else to take 9, so all I can do is look at one at $22. If the return on that is $4,000, I think you can pay your own piggyback on that one. And you won't need to pay the piggyback until you're ready to upgrade, where people are paying you from level 2. So you won't need to do a piggyback until you've collected your 30 coins. Members are really warming to the fact that it is great. It is great news. So Gary's asking, no, very exciting news. Any news on when we'll be able to transfer our NLA coins from our back office NLA account to the coin exchange to our desktop wallet? We're working on that, Gary, so we'll get answers on a lot of those things over the coming days. And as I said, everything is connected, so they had to make sure the exchanges are all functioning properly before they released any further things that we could do on there. So I'll most definitely chase that up. A lot of members want to get coins out of there as well. John, Helen, I have 2 questions. First is about loading the lines. It took quite some time to get to line 6. You say some about processing in line 7, line 8, when will be finished? Well, once again, I can't put a time on these things out there. We're just doing it as quickly as we can. And incidentally, I want to add this in as well. We had a member. I'm not going to mention any names out there, but we had a member that wanted to walk away from it, and one of our other members was working with that member, and wanted to walk away from her account. They're on line 5, and so when I found out they wanted to sign, just let the other person have the account, we went back in and had a look at it, and then contacted the member out there to let them know what was going on, because they just couldn't log into their accounts. So we've been working through it. So a joint effort from our admin team and another member that assisted that member as well, and me just letting them know. But I had to let them know that they were walking away. Currently they had sitting there in coin value at something like $17,000. So if this were just a cash grab, we would have just taken over that and said, thanks very much, see you later. But we want to make sure that members are fully aware of what they're getting, and it's a slow process. It's almost like we're having to go member by member by member to make sure that people really understand what they've got, because we don't want people to lose their accounts until we really go through the process of contacting them and getting it done. But that was a joint effort from from a number of members, and that's what is so special about this community. It's a helping community out there. And so that's if we just wanted to say wham bam, thank you ma'am, good luck, I could put all the lines straight back in today. They're all in. Good luck. You might get skipped. Who cares? Me. I care. I don't want anyone to get skipped. So that's why it's a slow process. It's a slow process because we want members to benefit from the last few years of what, and this is, once we complete this, it's finished. We never have to do it again. It's all been put in place now. It never has to be done again. So once again, it is a slow process once you get started there with it. And as I said, who can factor in that our team would have had to take off and head to the UK, and what's been going on with just getting this whole thing happening out there. It's been a major, it's almost like schoolyard stuff that's been going on when you deal with programmers and what they've been arguing about out there. But nevertheless, we've got through that, and we're on to the next stage now. Okay, Tom, very exciting about the investors coming in. Can you say anything about the timing for coins coming into our platforms from the matrix? Well, once again, Tom, I thought we answered that. As the lines go in there, members upgrade. So that's what's happening at the moment. So anyone that's in there at the moment, up to line 5, would have received coins. Line 5 are getting ready to receive theirs once we load in line 6. We're just going through line 6 now to make sure it's all ready to be loaded up. We have a number of reasons there on it, and as I mentioned before, that the recipients of the promos that we've been doing with BCN, they're going to be given positions on line 6, so they're going to be extremely happy when they get these positions. There's quite a number of them. We're just going through to see where we're placing them in there. So it's a little bit of a, just to make sure that, because some of these people, once again, when I look at the promotions that we're doing out there, there is no other company that can even go close to it. And if you try to mention to someone about it, but these people have just simply joined BCN. They're members of BCN and mining coins from there and whatever goes on from BCN, and they've been gifted a position in next level Africa, where we're probably looking at somewhere around about the $28,000 they'll get back for an investment of $600 in some cases out there. So you can see where when we do a promo out there, it would be impossible for anyone to even remotely go close to it. John's second question, in your example of opening one account online and line 10 fill, you get 30 coins. Can you transfer them to CX, or will they be converted to duck? The conversion to duck is not the coins, it's your money. Your money, when you put money into the exchange, John, that gets converted to duck. It's called digital unit currency. Coins always remain coins, and you can transfer the coins to wherever you want to transfer the coins to. When you register in Next Level Africa, you generally put a C wallet in there. The coins will go to that C wallet, and you can transfer them anywhere you like from there. But the coins and the cash becomes digital unit currency. Tom, you're mentioning about the wallets. I know that Chingaling there's still an issue with that. I'm having the same issue, but I've had a lot of people that have downloaded the NLA wallet, and it's functioning okay. So I'm not sure which wallet you're talking about there. But if it's the NLA wallet and you're having a problem with the wallet you've got, I just delete that wallet off your system and download a new one. Do it from CEX. REMA support. So if this is 128 coming in to take him, no, this is not positions. Sorry, but that the $2 billion, they're purchasing coins from the exchange. It's got nothing to do with Next Level Africa positions. They're just purchasing the coins from the exchange. June, is there a limit to the amount of money being sent to CEX like there is in withdrawing? No, you can send whatever quantity of money. Once you start getting into some pretty serious money, you've got to produce proof of funds, all of that. So if you got into, you know, the millions and millions of dollars, you've got to produce evidence that the money has come from a legal source. But there's no limit to what you can transfer once you complete all the issues that you need to go through. But just basic amounts like 10, 20,000, 30,000 plus is quite alright. But once you get in the billions, you've got to do things like proof of funds. Remember's asked about, is there a priority order on how you envisage each member to have crowdfunding project to get funded, or is there a priority from a committee approval? We talk because all we're talking about is humanitarian projects on there, so we'll be looking at the humanitarian projects and identifying the ones we feel in most need out there, and we'll be looking at those because we do want to distribute the $100 billion to where we feel it needs to go. We don't want anyone to be sending us any information about their to try to get further up the line, because we'll just ignore them, because we can't have thousands of requests to put someone in priority. Thank you very much, Gary, for those kind words as well. But we do want to make sure that we look after our members, and that's important to me, to make sure that members get looked after. They're all part of the food chain, the same as I am, and I don't want anyone to miss out on what they deserve over the last 4 years of watching this grow. Okay, Nigel, you see what you've got to gauge in here. When I start to have a bit of fun, and well, for me, it's you've got to gauge that by the fact that I feel it's all going well. So I do have some friends of mine that have over the years have come out there, but and I do have a bit of a poke at them, and so so bearing in mind that some of it's because I've known these people for such a long time, or even well back before Next Level Africa, but here I go. Nigel's a drummer, in case anyone doesn't know, so I've got to talk a bit slower so he understands. Okay, how will investment trading and liquidation impact the rate at which the NLA coin is appreciating in the value, please? Might it simply remain steady? That's entirely up to the market maker out there, Nigel. So you can imagine this, that if people were to dump coins on the exchange, see what you're asking me to answer what people would sell the coins for. If people were to dump coins on the exchange, then they'd be sold at a lower price. If people keep the price up, they'll be sold at a higher price, and the market maker will revalue the coin at a higher price, because it's all to do with how much money goes into the asset account and how much the coins are sold for. But that's not controlled by us, it's controlled by an independent, the market maker, who sets the value. John, what is the best to do when you have Chingaling? Trade them on CEX or transfer them to GEX when possible and trade them there? Okay, because I own CEX, I'd say yes, sell them on CEX. Because look, what's happening in CEX is that we get a commission on activity that happens on CEX, as I mentioned before, and a lot of that will find its way back to the NLA community. That's the beauty of it. I have to tell you this, that when you look at a $2 billion input in there, it puts a commission of somewhere around $10 million, and I'm very open about that. I'm very transparent. $10 million, a lot of that is going to find its way back into the NLA system. So if you ask me where to sell it, it's going to be always in CX, but you can sell them wherever you want, and that could be based on how much money the coins are being sold for, John. But I'd let the Chingaling is something we don't really have any control over. That's managed by the banks, and so you'll see it unfold. The banks want to do all trading on the coin within the exchange. So all of the activity that they're doing at the moment, they've got their investors that actually purchase $3 or $4 billion worth of coin a week. They want all that to happen within their exchange because they're trading outside their exchange at the moment. Nicole, no, line 6 hasn't been loaded yet. Nicole, I'm just still going through it and waiting for the developers to come back so we can finalise a few things. Michael's asked, did he hear correctly? And look, that's the information I've received from our development team, that they have had to do it in bits rather than putting the 2.8 billion in there. So by tomorrow there's going to be $1 billion there, and they'll start trading from there. That's what I've been told. So keep your eye on the exchange, and there's going to be some happy investors if they pick up some of those cheap coins at $30. So, but you won't see them after we get going with this. You won't see them. They'll be just chewed up. Members will have coins in there. Look, we'll go over a process of how we can best address the trading in the exchange. Yoda's asking, has any trading happened yet on CX? In the last couple of weeks, I think the exchange has been open now for 3 weeks, but in the last 3 weeks, and don't quote me on this, but probably somewhere around $22,000, $23,000 in trading on there. But because of the Chingaling coin being the value it is, people putting money in are grabbing that, and I would too. It's extremely good value, the Chingaling coin. So that's the one, if I put money in, that's the one I would go for, the Chingaling. Look, we are getting close now to the top of the hour. I think most of the questions have come in and been answered, hopefully, to the best of my ability. So I want to hand this back to Angelina, and I do want to thank everyone once again for being so patient, and I think you're about to be rewarded big time over the next day or two. Okay, thanks everybody. I'll hand this back to Angelina.
Thanks, Noel. Terrific questions from everyone. I really appreciate it. It's always a great learning process when we have these questions. I remembered what else I was going to mention, a housekeeping bit. We do have another general support email for people to send their questions that are more personal in nature that they don't want to post for reply on this in the Skype rooms, because the Skype rooms, there are other members that could possibly help you, and all three of us, me, Karen, and Julie, are in the Skype rooms at various times. But the general email, let me just click it here. Oh, come on, there. Please, if there's a more personal question that you have, send it to that email, and either myself, Karen, or Julie will reply to you. Please don't send it to the support@smada.world email, because we are saving that email specifically to this promotion and probably other other specific support issues. Okay, anyway. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight and spending time with us, asking your questions, and most of all supporting us with your presence and your kind words. And we will have this recording for you probably within another 24 hours. And if we don't see you sooner, we will see you next week at the same time. Thanks, and have a great day wherever you are. Bye for now.